Hello, Ebenezer mathematicians. We're ready to begin something new this week, and we're going to be talking about partitioning shapes, especially circles, squares, and rectangles. And I want to talk about what partitioning means. If you will look up here, I have a definition of what partition means. Partition means to divide a shape into equal parts. Now, if we think about what equal means it's the same. When we talk about adding and subtracting and we talk about equal, it has to be the same on both sides of the equal sign. So equal means the parts are the same. I want us to look up here at my illustrations of these shapes. You have circles and you have squares. I want us to look in this row right here, and I want you to tell me which one does not have equal parts. Is it number one? Is it number two? Or is it number three? Think about that. You are right. It is number three. If this were a cake and I got this piece, I'm going to be very angry because I did not get this piece. This was the biggest piece, and I would want to make sure that I had that piece. But if I got this, which is divided into two parts, two people would get the same amount. If I got this, four people could share and they would have the same amount, equal parts. Look at my squares down here. Again, which one does not have equal parts? One, two, or three? I see most of you out there are thinking two. You are correct. Again, if this is a pan of brownies and I only get this part, I'm not getting the same amount as my friends. These are not equal parts. So I cannot say that they are partitioned equally. However, these four parts are the same and these two parts are the same. So in order to partition shapes, we have to make sure that these shapes are divided into equal parts. Oh, my boys and girls, look who's coming in here. It's Mr. Hodge. And look what he's got, a pizza. Now, we need to partition this pizza so that you and I have the same amount of pizza for lunch. Wonder how we're going to do that, boys and girls. Equal parts. Mr. Hodge, can you partition that pizza into two equal parts for me?
Yes, I'll cut it right down in the middle.
Okay, do that. While he's doing that, I want us to think about that word partition again and what that word means. That word means to divide into equal parts. I don't want Mr. Hodge getting more than I'm going to get for lunch. I want us to have the same amount of pizza. So he is partitioning. Can you show me, Mr. Hodge, mine? Oh, look how he's partitioned the pizza, boys and girls, into two equal parts. Oh, but you know what I forgot? I've invited Miss Reinhardt and Miss Potter to come over too, so we're going to need four pieces.
Oh,
Can you? And they need to be equal because they won't be happy if they're not the same. So can you divide those into four equal parts
yes,
for me?
I can.
All right, thank you. I had forgotten all about my friends coming to have lunch with us. And you know what? Miss Potter and Miss Reinhardt would not be very happy if I had a bigger piece than they had. Remembering, we are partitioning, boys and girls. and cutting them into equal parts. And we're going to see what a good job Mr. Hodge has done partitioning the pizza. He's ready to show us. Oh, wow. Every piece looks the same. And he has now divided that pizza into 4 equal parts. And we're going to talk in just a moment about what we call 4 equal parts and what we call 2 equal parts. Thank you, Mr. Hodge, for doing that for us. Hi there, boys and girls. Boy, it's smelling like Friday in the cafeteria in my house. That pizza's smelling so good. Now, I want to review with you some vocabulary that we're going to need to know. And we're talking about 2 equal parts and 4 equal parts. Remember, partition means to divide a shape into equal parts. And here is our word, halves are 2 equal parts. And here is the fraction 1/2. You know what? We've been talking about those irregular nouns. Half is 1 and halves are 2. So we know that when we say halves, there are 2 parts. If you look at each one of my shapes, you will see that there are 2 equal parts. Each one of these squares, rectangles, and circles are 2 equal parts. We could pretend this is a pie. We could pretend this was a pan of brownies. This could be a rectangular cake, or candy bars come in rectangles. And we can divide those into 2 equal parts. Or let's use our math word for today. We can partition them into 2 equal parts. Those halves are 2 equal parts. Now I want you to look at our next chart, which is going to be fourths. Fourths. Fourths are 4 equal parts. And again, we have an example of a circle, a square, and a rectangle. Now, Mrs. Hodge has only shown one way to do the square and the rectangle. There are multiple ways that we can partition those shapes. Partitioning them into fourths. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Give me a thumbs up at home if these are all equal shapes. Yes, they are equal shapes. Now, any questions about what we've talked about today? We've talked about partitioning, dividing a shape into equal parts. We've talked about the word halves, which means 2 equal parts. And we've talked about the word fourths, which means 4 equal parts. Now, you are going to have a sheet to do tomorrow, but I want you to listen very carefully. I'm going to do another video tomorrow on some ideas for how you can complete the sheet. You may not understand this sheet if you don't watch my video again on Tuesday morning. You may go ahead, if you would like, and partition the shapes. But I'm going to do a little bit more teaching on how to complete your Tuesday assignment on the Tuesday video. So we're going to have a video for math on Monday and on Tuesday. Hope your Monday's off to a great start, boys and girls. See you tomorrow with the second part of our video. Bye.